Hello friends, my name is Mark, and today I'm rehearsing for an upcoming TED Talk that I'm going to be giving, because I'm a life coach and I teach people how to be individuals. So it's come to my attention over time that people don't know how to be individuals. There's a paucity of individuation. So they become enmeshed in various networks of identity, and they find it impossible to realize their authenticity. And so the herd mentality prevails. So I've developed a 9-level, 3-stage process before becoming an individual. And you'd think that this would be taken care of by means of elementary school, middle school, high school, college. But we all know that those various vehicles of education do anything but create individuals. And of course, when we're plugged into social media, or just the media, or entertainment, religion, whatever, there's not exactly a premium placed on becoming an individual. What does it even mean? So I developed 9 levels, 3 levels in each stage, and I take you through the various process of becoming an individual. And there's a price to each level, of course, and I offer deluxe packages where you can pay for 3 levels at a time, 6 levels at a time, 9 levels at a time, and you go through the process over a period of a handful of years. And by the end of the training modules, you're an individual. Right now you may be thinking, as I used to think, what does it mean to be an individual? To be something that's this and not that, but as a human being in society, culture. And if you're anything like me, it's been a confusing affair. One minute you think you're an individual, and another minute you just know you're a member of the masses. That you've only known the herd mentality your whole life, even when you seem to be running with a pack of individuals who you call your friends. You're all essentially the same tribe, and the same values, and a continuous feedback loop, kind of consolidating your identity together. You form a micro herd thinking that you're individuals vis-a-vis the larger herd, but really, no, you're not. You don't know what it means. And so we have these echo chambers where we hang out with people who have similar, largely identical perspectives, and they completely confirm and affirm and corroborate us at every step along the way. So what I do in my program, my 9 courses effectively, is I teach you how to think for yourself. You will think my thoughts for years, but when you think my thoughts, you will eventually learn how to think your thoughts. And there's a real perplexing conundrum here, which is when we have such access to thoughts in culture, anybody's thoughts really, through the internet, we can believe that we are having our own thoughts, when really it's just a stream of thoughts entering our mind that have been thought by someone else. So what I will teach you is, first you will think my thoughts, and you'll get a taste for what it's like to just openly and transparently think another person's thoughts, knowing that they're someone else's thoughts, and you will experience them eventually as your thoughts, but you'll know from the inception of the program, irrespective of the level, that they're my thoughts. And my thoughts will become increasingly more complex and granular and detailed as we encompass more of reality. But you'll always know that they're my thoughts that you're thinking. So, it's a heady process at first. And you can imagine that it's really just the tip of the iceberg. You know, I can hear plenty of objection from people. They want to talk about the body, emotions, feelings, sexuality, soul, spirit, but it really starts with the mind, specifically thoughts. And when you are done thinking of my thoughts, thinking with my thoughts, thinking my thoughts for years on end, then you'll get such a taste for what it is to think other people's thoughts that when you encounter other people's thoughts, which are really my thoughts, then you'll be like, oh, that's not my thinking. But then you'll come up against this great wall. A very, very great wall. Behind this great wall will be a great soul. And you will enter this soul's hut. There'll be some nice steaming tea. So, I understand that you're working with my protege. He's an interesting fellow, isn't he? I taught him everything that I know. And now he's thinking his own thoughts, apparently. And he's teaching you how to think your own thoughts. And he's doing this the way that I taught him, which was to think my thoughts. Unfortunately, my student doesn't understand. He thinks he understands. He told you about me. He told you to come to see me, drink my tea, have a moment in my hut. What I want you to know is that you've paid for this program to become an individual. But you're following a fraud. He's a fake, a charlatan, a snake oilsman. I know this because I taught him everything he knows. I taught him lies. I taught him that he could think on his own if he would but follow my thoughts. And so now I ask you, do you think that you can really become an individual if you take a life coaching session with him? Spend thousands of dollars graduating through all these levels and stages to become an individual when he himself, the teacher and the purveyor of this spiritual philosophical system, is himself a cheat? It's really challenging, isn't it? I just gave you a taste of my mentor there. He's got a long, white, flowing beard. Just sits in his tea hut behind a great wall. He's 900 something years old. It's a little bit like that guy in Kill Bill. Don't believe a word. My student, ex-student, in the 900 years that I've taught, I've never had such a negligent pupil. Doesn't know what it means to be an individual. Don't take his courses. If you want to become an individual, you study with me. You live behind the Great Wall. You live with all the monsters and the beasts with me behind the Great Wall. My former pupil, in some respects the most precocious pupil, is also the most dangerous pupil. He wants to monetize individuation. He wants to charge you to become you. That's not what I taught him. And I expelled him from behind the Great Wall, and now he's out on his own. I will never let him back. You should not take his classes. So, is this like level 1? Because if this is level 1, I don't think I'm going to make it through all 9 levels. Oh my god, I can't even breathe. So I just have this murky cloud inside me, and I don't, I used to have this life coach who told me that it's okay to be a hot mess. And I was a hot mess for a long time. And then I came across your pupil on Facebook, and he told me that I don't have to be a hot mess. He said that I could basically study under him and become an individual. And now I'm talking to you in a hut in China, maybe? I don't know, there's like paper dragons everywhere. Are those real paper dragons? What is a real paper dragon anyways, but do those things breathe fire? So now you're telling me that to follow your pupil and become an individual through him is fraudulent, but if I work with you, and you're like 900 something years old, that I will become, will I become an individual if I work with you? You will become something. Become something. Will I become a hot mess? Because I've been a hot mess, and that was cool. I gotta say, that was pretty cool for a while to be a hot mess, because if you think about, like, there's so much judgment inside that, like, unless I am unless I have the permission to be a hot mess, I'm gonna keep judging myself for all the shit inside me, and that's gonna make me more of a hot mess. And when I become a hot mess, because it's okay to be a hot mess, then I'm like less of a hot mess. But then I'm like, okay, I'm just a hot mess. Precisely. There you go. What is the value in being a hot mess? First, you feel the freedom of being a hot mess because you're no longer caught in the vortex of self-judgment. And you're like, oh, I'm a hot mess, and it's okay. But in my 900 years of teaching, there is something more than being a hot mess. Yeah, there is. But your pupil, are you telling me that he doesn't get it? I mean, he's going to give a TED Talk on being individual, and he seems like he's got it all down. You know, the laws of three levels, 3 stages, you know, 3 simple techniques to become an individual that you practice through the 9 levels of the 3 stages. 15 minutes, it's all variations of 3, and he seems to have it down. Ask yourself, could individuality really be taught? Do you believe him? I don't know if individuality can be taught, to be honest with you, because he makes a great point. When are my thoughts my thoughts? Right. But he wants you thinking his thoughts. Yeah, he does. He wants you thinking his thoughts for so long that you'll recognize that you're thinking someone else's thoughts, correct? Yeah, did he learn that from you? No, he learned that from a paper dragon. Yeah, those paper dragons are real. So, how do I become an individual? Can I ever escape thinking other people's thoughts? If you stay in this hut with me, you're not going to have to pay anything. My former pupil, protege, weaponized this process, and now he's charging people to become individuals. He's built a schemata, but anybody with half a brain can smell the stench of profiteering, often in the innate capacity of the human being, which is to be an individual. We've just lost our way. And that's the Great Wall. Everybody on the other side of that wall is constantly ensnared in this mirror work of reflecting one another's perspectives and values, hence the herd mentality of the herd mental sphere. So, if you want to become an individual, you will have to take residence in this hut with the paper dragons. The paper dragons all around this. It's like a mural. So are you telling me that these paper dragons are real? That I'm going to live with paper dragons and they're going to be my... What are they going to be? Are these paper dragons your students? Are these paper dragons alive? They're alive. How are they alive? I don't see them breathing or eating or doing anything, they're just in these exotic positions. Well, my student couldn't see them as alive either. And he left. He went and got on Facebook and he found you. If you're going to be my student, you're going to sit here in this hut with me while I serve you tea. And you're going to discover how these paper dragons are alive. And they are more alive than you currently. And when you discover how each and every one of these paper dragons are alive, then you can go beyond the Great Wall, and you can teach in my name. So you see, it has nothing to do with endorsing my thinking. But I don't get it. I see that each one of them is that one. I mean, those are really beautiful scales. And it's got his claws. And that dude has got the smoke coming out of his nostrils. Huh. And then this one over here has got these fucking huge wings. These aren't even constant, are they? Like, I could swear there were 10 of them, and now there are like 15. Is that right? You catch on, quick. That's a little bit precocious of you. Yes, that's right. And look at them now. God. Wow. That's fucking unreal. They're alive, aren't they? They keep on breeding and multiplying. Your protege didn't even see this, and he's out there teaching in your name? Oh, no. He's not teaching in my name. He is teaching in his name. Now, of course, when he was here, there weren't dragons. Something entirely different. Do you understand why these dragons are living and breathing and real? Do you understand why that is? Because I brought them with me. That's right. I'm projecting these. That's right. From where? Where am I projecting these from? Where are they going? What do you know? They're coming from your student. got nothing to do with dragons. He brought an entirely different beast into this hut. Why did you think it was my student? I don't know. It doesn't even actually make sense because I brought them. But I brought your protege with me, didn't I? You did. He's still gonna give his TED talk today, but you brought him. I'm lost, man. It's like I can sense that there are no individuals anywhere around me, that they're all mouthing the same perspectives. They've all been indoctrinated the same way. I would do anything to just be free of that. This constant yammering of homogeneity, man. Do you know what I mean? You've been around 900 years, man. Everybody. Or is that my obsession? That's my dragon, isn't it? And I want this guy, he's got this honey-tongued rhetoric. And I can become an individual. But you're telling me that he's a farce. Is individuality a farce? Too? This whole dichotomy between individual and collective, individual and herd, individual and groupthink, individual and tribe. Would you like some tea? You're moving along. You must be thirsty. No, I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna have any of your tea, because that shit's probably hallucinogenic, and I don't want any of that. What is it like? I miss my people. You ever miss someone like that? Someone who's precocious but doesn't get it. So gifted and so clueless. He seems pretty gifted. He seems pretty clueless too, charging people to become individuals. I don't know. What did he project when he entered this hut? Oh, that's kind of private, actually. Oh, I don't tell anybody what anybody projects. But I do tell them that this hut is a projection itself. The hut? The whole fucking thing? Yes. Are you saying that everything here is a projection? Even you? Yes, of course, even me. So are you telling me that I'm projecting you and you're projecting me? Of course. the you. You're telling me that you have your paper dragons too? That's exactly what I'm telling you. So what are your paper dragons? Well, I don't tell anybody. I'm your paper dragon, aren't I? I am your paper dragon. I'll tell you that. You're mine. You're my paper dragon. And I brought the wall. I brought that wall. That fucking great wall. Is projection even real, dude? Is projection real? Is this abyss that I'm falling into, is that real? I have been around for 900 years, give or take a few centuries. You're doing a great job. You might become my protege if you keep this up. Okay, I gotta go. This is fucked. This is fucked up. You're fucking with my mind. That's part of the waking up process to becoming an individual. It's not. Now I can understand why. You take people down into a fucking wormhole, a rabbit hole of craziness. Paper dragons coming alive. Dude, a 7-year-old could have cut these out, pasted them around, and give me some hallucinogenic tea, and of course they're gonna come alive. Keep going. Go on. Keep going. No. That wall that I brought is to block you out. There is no such thing as what you are doing. That is all of this. It is a lie. I don't believe in individuals, and I believe that what your student is doing is probably the right thing. That if there's such a thing as individuals, you have to guide them into being individuals, because otherwise, if this hut, this vortex, this abyss. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Being an individual is so difficult. We don't know what it means. I have a 3-stage, 9-level program for guiding you into your individuality. If you study with me, if you think my thoughts, I will take you from your present hot mess into a state of release, to a state of joy, to a state of ever-present happiness that you could call your own. You obviously don't know how you think, what you think, why you think, when you think, where you think. But what I will do is I will guide you into your thinking process. And if you work with me, you will learn how to think my thoughts until you learn how to think your own. Thank you for watching today.